Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video we will be looking into how to implement Android 16's live notification update in Expo React Native application. So let's get started. So first let me show you guys the output. I have recorded the output. Now do make sure that this particular thing only work on Android 16 and above. It will not work on below Android 16 devices, so you have to be careful with that. So I'll just play the video. So here you can see that it is first asking for notification permission. I will give the notification permission. Then as you can see there, I'll just move this a little bit. As you can see, there is no notification as such on my device. Now I will click on the first button. As soon as I click on the first button, here you can see we are getting this notification, and here the progress bar is indeterminate, so we are trying to find a driver. So here I am simulating like a car finding or a location, like kind of like an Uber clone, so something like that. So here you can see we are trying to find a driver, so the progress is indeterministic. Okay, now I'll click on the second button, and now we have found the driver, and I have updated the progress to 10. On the third button I have updated the progress to 20. So here you can see the same notification. We are not creating a new notification. Then I have clicked on the fourth button, and for the fourth button here you can see I have added this add stop button as well on our notification, and if I have forgot to click on it, I'll click on it at the end of the video. Then here is our fifth button. I have clicked on it, and here you can see if you want to display some progress points as well, you can display it. This is how you do it. Then I'll click on the sixth button. So I'm showing you different types of things which you can do with live notification update. So in case if there is some traffic, I want to color it differently, here you can see you can color it differently as well. And finally the seventh one, where I'm just displaying the start and end progress icons as well. So here you can see. Now again I have clicked on the fourth button just to show you the add stop button. So if I click on it, here you can see I'm just displaying a toast message, but you can do more advanced things if you feel like. Now let's get started. So first here I have created one cheat sheet, so you can just follow this cheat sheet to create an Expo React Native application. Now do note that at the time of me recording this video, there is no third-party library available to achieve this functionality. That's why I have written native code for this. So first you have to just go to this particular URL over here, and here I am using this blank TypeScript template, but you can use whatever template you feel like. Okay, and I have just run this particular command. It will ask you for project name, give it some project name. Now to write native code, you need to do some native setup as well. So for that you can first go to this particular URL over here. Sorry, not this one, this one. Okay, I'll just copy this. I'll open it inside a new tab. So here you can see you will have to select Android device. Here you will have to select development build, and here I have disabled ES. Here you can select Mac OS. Then here I have done brief install Watchman. Here is you also need to do Cas Zulu. You need to set Java home. Now you need to install Android Studio. Again I have already done all this, so I'm not doing it. Okay, then you need to run this command, you need to run this command as well. And finally you need to cd into your Expo React Native application which you have just created, and then run this command. You need to run this inside your Expo React Native application, so be careful with that. Once that is done, you need to run this command. So once you run this command, it will create this Android folder for you, as you can see over here. Now it will ask you to run your application as well. Don't run it now, because we need to run it from scratch later on, because we will be writing native code. That's why. Then we need to create a module as well. So for that you can just go to this particular URL, and it will give you one command. So you need to copy this command and paste it inside your terminal. Again, make sure you have already inside your Expo React Native application inside your terminal, and then paste this command. So it will ask you some questions like what should be the module name and everything. I have just pressed enter 3 times. I have kept everything as default. I have not changed anything. So here you will see this module been created. Now I'll just close this cheat sheet. Okay, so first you need to go to app.tsx. Sorry, before that you go to modules, my module, and here you go to src. Here you go to my module.ts, and here you can see I have defined all these 7 methods. I have named it first, second, third, fourth. For the first method I am accepting a parameter, because I just wanted to show you in case if you want to send some parameter from Expo React Native side to native Android side, how to do that. Same thing you can do for rest of this methods as well. So that's what I have done. I have just defined all these methods. The rest, these three methods were present by default. I have not changed any of this. Okay, then you need to go to app.tsx. I have added all these imports. Then here I have defined one state for notification permission. So here we are asking for notification permission first. If it is granted, then we change the state. Then inside use effect, we request this notification permission, and if notification permission is granted, so here I have just created a button, and on click of first button we just call the first method. Click of second method we call second method. Similarly for third, similarly for fourth, fifth, sixth and seventh. That's all we are doing over here. Okay, then you need to go to Android. You need to go to build.gradle over here. Inside dependencies, you need to add this particular dependency. Now at the time of me recording, this is the latest version, but if there is some higher version, you should upgrade to the higher version as well. And also make sure you are using the latest version of Expo React Native, because it needs to target HDK 36, because HDK 36 or target HDK 36 targets Android 16. If you are using lower version of target HDK, then you have to upgrade it. Otherwise again this feature will not work for you, even if somehow you get it working on Android 16. So you have to update to at least 36 version over here and over here, and I have upgraded this version to 26 as well. Okay, then you need to go to the main Android folder, go to app, src, main, android manifest.xml, and here I have added two permissions. So first one is this post notification permission, and second one is the post promoted notification. So make sure you add these two things as well. Then what you need to do is you need to create so first just go to your Android folder, src, main, and here you need to create a folder called res, and inside res you need to create a folder called drawable. Okay, you have to name it like this only. Now inside this you can see all of this XML files been created. So these are actually SVG files, but Android like Android Studio doesn't really, or Android OS doesn't really directly understand .svg extension. You have to use you need to convert it to .xml. Now do not try to use React Native SVG, because they are part of your React Native or Expo project. We need this to be part of direct native Android project itself. That's why I have not used that particular approach. So I'll just close this. So how you can do this? So all you need to do is just open Android Studio. You just have to click on open over here, and I will navigate to where my Expo project is located, and I'll just click on this Android folder and click on open. Now it will take a little bit of time to do all the Gradle syncing stuff, so be patient. In case if you are getting an issue saying process node command not found, something like that, you just have to go to Android Studio, go to settings. Okay, just go to Android Studio, go to settings, and here go to build execution deployment, build tools, Gradle, and here change the Gradle SDK version to 17. Then click on apply, click on OK, and then just again click on this elephant icon of sync Gradle project with Gradle files, and it will do Gradle syncing. So it will take a bit of time, so be patient. Once that is done, what you need to do over here is you need to find your module. So here is our module. Go to the res folder, and inside drawable, there are two ways to add a SVG file to this. Do not do this via VS Code, you will mess things up. So you just have to right click on drawable folder, new, and do not use JPEG or PNG. Otherwise again they don't, that's not the recommended way to use images on notification. It is highly recommended to use SVGs, but SVGs need to be converted to XML. So you just have to right click, new, vector asset. Here you can select local files, and here you click on this icon, then just select your SVG file, click on open. I don't have it right now with me. Then click on next, click on finish. Okay, but if you are like me lazy, if you don't have an SVG file, you can just use this clip art, select this particular icon, and from this it will automatically show you a bunch of XML or SVG files which you can pick from. Just select any of this and use it inside your application. So you can just select, suppose I'm selecting this, click on OK, then click on next, and then click on finish. Okay, I already have added the required SVGs or XML files. You don't need to use this, but I'm using this inside my code. So if you are using some different one, you have to change the name of the icons inside your code as well. Okay, so yeah, that's all we need to do from Android Studio. Now let's come back to VS Code, then go to Java, and first you need to go to mymodule.kt. so here firstly these are all the imports, so feel free to pause the video and copy all these imports. You need to add this annotation of Android O because that's the minimum SDK which I have kept. I think like most people have upgraded to Android O in the Android ecosystem. Then here we get hold of our activity. Then here is the ID which should be the same for all the notification which we display. Here is our notification manager. Then this is present by default. I have not changed anything. Once this view finishes, I have added this onCreate method where we initialize our notification manager as well as called setup notification channel. I'll come back to that method later on. So here I have defined all of our methods. So this is the first method, right, and it takes a title. So that's what we are doing here. I am checking whether user is using Android 16 and above. If yes, then build the base notification. Again, this is a reusable method which I have created. I'll show that in a second. Sorry. Then here we set the content title, content text, small icon, set style, and here you can see the progress indeterminate is true. That's the important thing. Then here we set large icon and set the short critical text as well, and then display the notification. For below Android 16 we just display a toast message. For function second, again we do the same thing, but here the progress is 10, and instead of set progress indeterminate, here we use set progress of 10. Okay, and whenever you are using this set progress, you do not need, you should not use this set show critical text. That's why I have commented this out. If you want, I can remove this as well. And but instead you need to add the set show when as true and set when, and here I am just passing 10 minutes over here. Then we display our notification again. Similarly for function third, again I am checking whether Android 16 and above, then build our base notification, progress is 20, and here I am setting the progress as 20 again, and again the same thing. Again, if you want, I will remove this so that there is no confusion. Okay, then for the fourth one, here you can see I have created one intent. Now for whenever you add a button inside your notification, you can't directly add a click list, then you need to create a pending intent. Now inside the pending intent, it requires an intent. Now this intent can do anything. I have taken the use of help of a broadcast receiver over here. So here you can see I have created a separate file called add stop receiver, and whenever you click on the button, we were displaying this toast message. But you can implement your own functionality over here, whatever it could be. Alright, now whenever you are using broadcast receiver, you need to go to the Android manifest.xml and you need to add this particular bit of code as well. So this is very important. Okay, but if you are not using broadcast receiver, you don't need to do this. Then here we get hold of our pending intent. Then here you can see again this is the rest of the things are same, but important thing is here we add the add action builder, and here we pass the pending intent to our button. That's what we are doing over here. Then for the fifth one, again the same thing, but here we also add this add progress points as well. So this is very important. So that's the only change which we are doing over here. For the sixth one, if you want to use spanable string, this is how you can use it, and here you can see I'm passing it to our content text. Then here we are setting the progress segments as well. So here you can see it is 30, 50 and 100. Unfortunately this is not getting displayed when I showed you guys the output. I don't know why. It could be a bug in Android 16. Maybe they will fix that in minor versions of Android 16, but at least at the time of me recording, it is not getting displayed. Okay, and for the seventh one, again it's the same. The only thing is we are displaying the progress start and progress end icon. Alright, so rest of the thing remain the same, and this is the code for setting up the notification channel. This is the code for building up the base notification. Okay, so yeah, that's all there is to it. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. Let me quickly check inside build.gradle. Like I told you, I updated this to 26, and also inside Android app build.gradle, here I think, yeah, here also I have updated it to 26. Okay, so yeah, that's all there is to it. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. Hopefully I have shown you this as well. Inside this build.gradle of modules, my module Android folder, you need to add this particular dependency as well. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.